Serious, what celebrity death hit you the hardest? Mr. Rogers. As a kid growing up in Pittsburgh, so many of my afternoons were spent exploring a new world with him. I had a friend in college that I talked to after Mr. Rogers had passed, and he had said that when he and his brother were sad they both watched his show because it felt like somebody loved them. Douglas Adams, author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I was kind of a weird kid, had trouble connecting with people. Then I read Hitchhiker's Guide when I was 12-year-old and it was like a light switching on. The strange twisting logic, the absurdism, the silly/cynical ridiculousness of it all, it felt like, for the first time, I had found a worldview and perspective I could relate to. Douglas Adams became this almost mythical figure to me, this strange, distant person I could finally connect with. I desperately wanted to meet him, to be his friend. Then I learned that, a year before I'd even started the books, he died. It honestly crushed me, it felt I'd lost my best friend. I mourned him, and mourned the imagined relationship I could have had with him. Looking back, it was obviously a parasocial relationship, and my fantasies about this 50-year-old British author becoming buddies with a 12-year-old kid living in the US were nonsense, but I still felt it acutely at the time. When Chester Bennington passed, I was in such disbelief. Linkin Park played a huge part in defining my music taste, and I always loved Chester's singing and screaming. I can remember where I was when I got the news and everything. Last time I saw him was when he was fronting for Stone Temple Pilots some years ago. It was at a music festival and I was actually really surprised at how well he did. He performed all of STP's hits and totally played into Weiland's stage persona. It was sad to see him go. And it makes me wonder if Chris Cornell's passing maybe pushed Chester over the edge. Supposedly, they had become very close in recent years before they passed. I think Chester even spoke at Cornell's funeral. Not exactly a celebrity, but Satoru Iwata. I loved many Nintendo games during his era as CEO, and after his passing I was in awe at how much he did personally to save games that were in development hell, as well as him choosing to take personal responsibility for the losses Nintendo saw during the Wii U by cutting his paycheck rather than letting go of employees. Truly an exemplary man if ever I've seen one. On my business card, I am a corporate president. In my mind, I am a game developer. But in my heart, I am a gamer. I shared my story in my own comment, but just so people can know the magic that was this man. Robin Williams. I've told this story on other accounts, but I love telling it. As a kid, I was one of 10 winners for a sweepstakes to be a pen pal with Robin for a year. I was stoked, and on like 8 or 9 years old. My brother and sister told me it probably wasn't going to be him, just a publicist or intern. I didn't care. For months we sent so many letters of silliness. All his letters were long, and he really loved talking about Zelda. She's a little older than me, and all the new projects he was working on. My family went to Disney that summer, and I wrote a letter while in the car, and I was determined to give it to Genie because I was convinced he was always playing him in the costume and wanted to hand deliver at least one. My brother and sister were again deterring me, but I wasn't breaking my gait. Well, of all coincidences in the world, Robin actually was there signing autographs. I was ecstatic. Literally jumping for joy as I'm in line. We get to him and I'm rambling like a motherfucker telling him how I was a winner and about the letter and yada yada. He just goes, "Kyle?" with a massive grin and opens his coat and pulls out my letter from a month prior that was with a few others. Apparently he kept all our letters on him while on the road to help cheer himself up, which devastates me now thinking about what that meant. I almost fainted. I cannot express the amount of electric energy surging through me knowing Robin Williams actually wrote me, knew me, and I believe truly loved me and those other kids like we were his children. I'll never ever claim anybody was a bigger fan of his than Zelda. I respect her too much to say that. But I'm definitely his second biggest fan of all time. When he died, I cried into my then wife's arms for a full hour. I felt I really lost a true friend that got me through so much growing up. A man that could get my siblings and I to shut up and just revel in his magic for hours at a time. I miss you, Robin. Every day. Mac Miller. I was deep in my addiction at the time and looked up to him a lot. It really hurt me. I used it as motivation though to get sober. Then a year and a half later I lost my partner to addiction also. Please reach out for help if you feel like you can't live without substances. Your life matters. Sober life is beautiful. Mac Miller is someone I grew up with, truly. During high school he was releasing party music and probably his poppiest music, so I didn't really enjoy his music as much but did hear his stuff. Hated watching movies in 2013 when I graduated and I was all in. Truly someone with incredible artistry, and what is a crazy cosmic coincidence, had a lot of music that comforted me and related a lot to my life. He did Faces when I was getting into more serious drug use. He was sobering up when I moved to a new city and was basically clean. He released Divine Feminine when I was falling in love, and Swimming whenever I was still recovering from the breakup. I was absolutely crushed when he died. It felt like losing a distant friend. I still have a hard time listening to his music. Cameron Boyce. His death hit me hard because his birthday is only a couple months after mine. Having someone my age just die suddenly made me realize I could die right now. Amy Winehouse. She was one of those celebrities that you could clearly see needed help. You could hear it in her music. Now that voice is gone. Thank you for listening to another B-Town Reddit Stories episode. Hit the subscribe button and check out our channel for more stories. Let us know your opinion about this topic in the comments.